Hello again, and welcome to another episode of our Facebook Live. Sorry, guys, we've been having some technical difficulties, and today Tom was trying to come live, but a couple of times he tried to invite me, so we could not get in. So we just tried our traditional way, and now we are here. And for our Facebook group, then it's Doctors Passive Real Estate Investment Club. Guys, thank you so much for coming in every Thursday and sharing and watching us. So today we are going to be sharing something really, really cool, and it's called investing in real estate classes, in asset classes, basically that's hot right now. So I'm joined here with George Salas again. He's back, and my good friend and partner Tom Bibby Varghese. So he is going to be introducing, and basically he's just trying to do some technical stuff behind the scenes. So Tom, if you're ready to go, let's go.
Alrighty, guys. Hey, so excited to come to you again. I apologize before about the mixed up over there. We were trying to go live and did not work out. Anyway, I'm glad we're here today. We are going to talk about some of the hot real estate assets you can invest in. I mean, we always talk about multifamily here, but and short-term rentals. But today we are going to talk about different asset classes that are actually hot right now, and I think you're going to enjoy it. My name is Tom Bibby Varghese, a partner of Dr. Noel Liu and George Salas here with us today. I started without knowing anything about real estate. Now I'm invested in multiple assets and multiple categories, and we are going to talk about some of these assets that I'm invested in as well, and that is bringing in some lucrative returns. And I'm sure you'll be interested in hearing about that. George, take it away.
Folks, what's up? We're actually live streaming to YouTube today, LinkedIn, and for some reason, Facebook did not work, right? So I don't know what is going on lately with Facebook. Folks, thanks for inviting me to your live stream here. Appreciate it again, and glad to be here. So it's actually been a little bit of a while, right? So it's been a wild ride this summer for us in our company. My name is George Salas again. I'm a short-term rental operator of 7 years, $9 million in assets, over 130 transactions, and launched 75 plus short-term rentals, high-end short-term rentals. So here to just bring value and join these fine real estate fellas in this journey. And then always here, I love these because I actually get to learn about other asset classes, which I usually don't pay attention to so much, right? So I love just listening to this awesome conversation that you. So whenever you guys give me invites, I love it, man. So let's get started. Ready to go.
Thanks, George. Today, like every other time, we like to bring value. We like to bring value to our dental colleagues, our doctor colleagues, anyone in the healthcare profession. So one of those things that we've been hearing lately in our masterminds with a lot of people that we network with, what is the hottest asset class right now? Tom and I, we've been in multifamily, we've been in short-term rentals with George, but today we want to discuss about industrial and storage. Storage and industrial, two of the hottest real estate right now, currently, because some of the returns that we've been getting in one of Tom's deals in South Carolina, North Carolina, sorry, and that is doing extremely, extremely well. So I'm going to pass this off to Tom because Tom is a master in this industrial space. He does quite a bit with his other partners that he's GP in. So Tom, man, let's take it away and share your thoughts. What's going on?
Yeah, guys. So always when we talk about real estate investment, most of the time what you hear about is about multifamily. Multifamily is nothing but apartment complexes, right? There is multiple apartments. Could be 6 units, 10 units, 15 units, 20 units, 100 units, 500 units, like that, right? So multiple apartments in one complex. What you don't realize is that although that is also considered as commercial real estate, there's multiple other classes of commercial real estate like retail, these strip malls. Then there is storage spaces, storage facilities, and there is industrial storage, and there is industrial warehouses. What we want to talk about today is two of the hottest asset classes today that's still flying off the shelf, so to speak. And it's not lasting on the market that long as multifamily. listings. You can see right now it's not a great time for multifamily apartment buildings because they're staying on the market for a longer period of time, especially because people are asking a lot of money because they think they're still worth what it was 2 years ago. But on the other hand, storage facilities and industrial warehouses, industrial storage, these facilities, they come on the market and they're priced right, and their cap rate is a little bit higher and better than multifamily. They don't last on the market that long. And we want to talk about specifically a couple of them, which is let's talk about storage facilities. What are storage
Mhm.
facilities? Storage facilities is nothing but a place to store all your unwanted junk, right? You got a lot of stuff at home, and as people are moving from one location to another, and especially in these high growth areas, when people first move into that location, they move into an apartment building. And then since the place is limited, they don't have enough stuff, they don't have enough space to put their stuff. So they go find a storage facility, something that's close by to the apartment. They keep it there. And they move to the house and they forget to take, it's not that they forget, they just leave it in the storage space and they keep paying the monthly rent month after month after month, year after year. And it's like clockwork, and it doesn't cost that much. It's probably $100 a month. And they're like, okay, I'll decide later on when if I need that stuff. Until then, I'm going to keep paying. So that's storage facilities. And the cool thing about it, compared to apartment buildings, is that there is hardly any maintenance. There is no toilets that's going to break. There's no door locks that's going to go. There's no pest control, so to speak. Things like that. It's very easy on maintenance. You can run it with one person, or sometimes it's even automated. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any experience on storage facilities? I'd like to hear about what you guys have to say, Noel and George.
Hey, remember that meetup we went to the other day?
Yeah,
And we met this guy. What he was doing was basically taking like old Kmart's and I don't know whatnot, all those stores that closed down, and he was taking that and converting them into climate controlled storage
Mm.
facilities. Now, one of those things that he was talking about was most of these young people, when they move into like a condo or maybe an apartment, we all know that sooner or later this is going to become a renters nation, right? These guys are moving into smaller and smaller apartments because they're not buying houses. And what's happening is they are taking those storage spaces and they are storing most of that stuff there because they can't really store it in apartments. So that was a really cool concept, especially like young kids going to college, if they're in like a small dorm and they have extra stuff that they want to bring in from their parents' house. They're putting in the storage facilities. And many times, like you said, Tom, these guys, they leave it there, and then when they graduate or something, they forget, and it's like there and it's like on auto payment. And like you said, the amount is so small that a lot of times they don't even realize that's coming out automatically out of
yeah.
their debit or credit card. So that's something. Well, George, I want to hear you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I think of storage, I mean, I've been to storages, right? Storage facilities. I've stored stuff in storage. So I'm like, this could actually be really simple. What I know about self storage, that I mean, it could be simple to operate. So I would say one of the biggest benefits, in my opinion, would be operational simplicity, right? So compared to other, even short term rentals, compared to other forms of real estate, right? Multifamily, short term rentals, you know, office or whatever, you don't have to deal with tenants, right? So there are fewer management complexities, so you don't have to deal with
Hmm.
the headaches of dealing with tenants. I like that part. To me, seems, I've done a little research too, that storage facilities are recession resistant, right? Historically, I have heard that his storage facilities have investments have performed well during past recessions. I am obviously, that's just me listening to other investors mention and reading some, articles in the news or whatnot. I like that fact too. So, I mean, if I was going to get into another investment asset class, storage would be one of my preferred asset class types, because I think we could automate the entire business much easier. There's technology
Hmm.
for everything nowadays, right? In short-term rentals, you have technology to manage the revenue, the pricing, to manage the entire. I mean, you have that in multifamilies. I'm sure you have it in all the asset classes. But when there is no people to manage, I think that cuts off about 80% of the complexities, right? Because um, for my industry, it's hospitality. So you've got an actual combination between real estate and hospitality when you do vacation short-term rentals, right?
Yeah.
So that adds three layers of complexity, even more than long-term renting through single-family or multifamily real estate. So that's
100%.
one big advantage. I love that, right? So I've heard
100%.
you can make 15, $20,000 per storage, per storage, I guess complex, per month, maybe 25, 30. Not really sure, but other than that, maybe the revenue streams. I'm not super sure about that. What do you guys think? Is that some of the other
Uh,
benefits?
it's a volume business. Tom can chime a little bit about what does it take, like what is the 1% rule that applies to storage. He can chime a little bit on that, because it's like, it's not like you can get away with like 15, 20 storage units. If you're going to do storage units, it's got to be in the hundreds,
Yeah.
right?
Mm,
Because the economy of scale has got to make sense with management. I mean, if you're going to be renting it out for like $75 to $150, or maybe even $200, like maximum, where is the economy of scale? So it's got to be like, I would say minimum like 150 to 200 storage units. Tom, what is a good range, like, like for every 100,000, what is the 1% rule on storage units?
Yeah, you said that right. So it should be like something like 150 units. Of course, it
Hmm.
mm,
depends on the unit size. Most of these we're talking about like 100 to 200 square feet, right? Maybe
Yeah.
some of them might be 300 square feet. Most of them are going to be 100 to 200 square feet. And what we've seen is that the smaller units, like 100 square feet, not very many people want to get lease that these days for some reason, because probably because you could pay maybe about $25 more and get probably like a bigger unit, right? So they're like, okay, I want a bigger unit. So you need to have at least 150 units for this to make sense. I mean, yeah, there is 10,000 square feet storage facilities and stuff, but that will become another job because you let it go and manage it yourself. But still, there is very limited management. It's easy to automate it. If you get a
mm,
nice website, there are softwares that's dedicated to this, make people sign up online and stuff. But
Hmm.
it's way less maintenance than an apartment complex for sure. The other thing also to note is that here there are no leases. These are month-to-month leases. You can cancel anytime,
mm,
and that means the raise hits you. They can raise the rents anytime they want, basically. Now, typically they raise the rents every 6 months. Some people do it once a year, but the thing is, they don't have to wait for a lease to come around. They just, if they feel like they have to raise a raise, they just send an email out saying, guys, rates are going up next month or 2 months from now, and they raise it by 5%, 10%. Usually it goes up like 7%
Right.
every year. So that's another thing. You don't have to wait around and get people to sign a lease to raise the rates. You just send an email out and tell them, hey man, your rates are going up, and if you don't like it, get out. And there are no eviction problems here. If you don't pay, and they give you, I think, about 30 days or something, and if within 30 days, if they don't get their money, they're going to auction your items out. You don't even have to show up. Obviously, they're going to collect the money
Right.
one way or the other from you, but there is no going to court, none of that stuff.
So how does somebody go ahead and start looking for a storage unit, and what should be like a good decent price for per unit?
Yeah, so storage units are all over the place. A lot of these are mom and pop operated, believe it or
Uh-huh.
not. Yeah, well, what you see these days, some of these big ones like public storage. So all it was is mom and pop operated. Then these private equity firms and companies started seeing how lucrative this is. They started getting into the business, like public storage, extra storage.
mm.
There's
Right.
so many like that, right? They build these massive units now, like 3 story, 4 story, and they build it in some of the nicest locations too, because people want to store stuff, and they put climate control. And some people don't like climate control because they want to drive the car up all the way to the unit. So those
Mhm.
won't be climate controlled. So there are several intricacies to that. But if you want to look around, just drive around. Basically, you can see a lot of these in your neighborhood, especially if there are several big apartment complexes. You will see one really close to that, and if there is a lot of houses, you can see some of these close by there as well, because everybody needs storage. And if the place is densely populated,
Oh
that's an
yeah.
advantage to you, because and if you find a storage facility, you can rest assured that there's not going to be any competition, because there's no more room left for anybody to build that. So just drive around and start looking around, and you will start seeing these from now on. And some of these, if you think it's locally owned, you just walk in and say, "Hey, can I talk to the owner?" And sometimes they may be willing to sell to you.
There's
Tom,
been a lot of cases where people are like ready to go, but they may not even advertise it that they're selling. They may not even list it with the brokers that they're selling. But if you just approach them, with the right contacts and the right relationships, many times you'll find out that these guys are selling.
Yeah,
yeah,
especially a lot of these guys have owned these things for years, and they
Hmm.
have kept that money coming in every month. And they probably are ready to retire, and maybe when you're able to strike a seller financing deal and stuff for this too.
Just like we do in the back old days, right? Just call and cold call. Just keep
Yeah,
cold
I
calling.
mean,
cool.
that's how all these realtors get the listings, right? They just cold call
Exactly.
them. So
Or text, right? How
yeah,
about the
Text.
marketing, Tom? How about marketing?
yeah, you
What,
got to.
is there a marketplace like, you know,
Yeah,
in my
that's a great point. That's a great thing. That's a great point. You said a lot of these mom and pop operators have no marketing going, guys. Zero
wow.
marketing. Many of them don't even have websites. All they have is a sign, if at all a sign. I mean, it could
Mhm.
be some like basic sign. They don't know how to market, but people need it. So they just drive by, they see, and it's close to their house, 5 minutes from where they live, and they just park the items. If you can do a little bit of marketing is nothing but just getting a website. There are some specific companies who do this, easy storage solutions or something like that. There's like three or four of these guys that are very
Sure.
prominent in the space. You just
Mhm.
sign up with them, put them on the website, and then marketing is just Google. And then there is another place. I think it's called Sharp Storage or something like that, where you go and list yourself, because that's where a lot of people look for storage.
It's called
And that
Sharp Storage.
I got to look it up. It's something to do with Sharp something, where a lot of these storage places are listed, and they rate the storage facilities basically.
Hmm.
Sharp
It
Spring,
seems to it
yeah.
seems to me that there's no marketplace, so this is more of a local type of business because people are like driving by and seeing, hey, I need this now. Let me go and use it, and then that's how they get their occupancy, right? So there's no bookings coming in from
Right.
farther out, like single family, multifamily. People are going to travel. They're going to try to find those listings because they're going to move here from California or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So this seems a lot different. Cool, and I
Yeah.
like it.
And one thing, Tom, you mentioned about it a long time ago, like each storage unit. What are we looking at per unit cost? Is it like 10 to 15 grand per unit?
Yeah. If
It
you
makes
can get
sense.
it for 10 to 15 grand, that's a pretty good price, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. 10,000, I think 10,000 is a really good price if you can get it for 10,000. So let's say do the math, right? 10,000 times 100 units is like a
That's a
million
million.
bucks.
Right.
So,
That's pretty
uh,
good.
yeah, so that's the concept. Some of these, I mean, I've seen some guy wanted to sell for like $7,000 a unit, but that's the occupancy is low at that point. They don't have it. They have probably like 50-60% occupancy at that time.
Right.
At that point,
Right.
and then you gotta now when it comes to marketing, these big players do a great job. They got the market covered, but it doesn't mean you cannot play either. Like public storage, the other ones, extra space, extra storage. All these guys, they do fantastic job with marketing, but that means their rates are also higher. So that's where the mom and pop edges out, right? So
Mhm.
they're probably like 15-20% lower than these big players. So that's why people, and they're probably
Mhm.
closer to your location and stuff. So there's still a lot of room to
A lot of room.
play in this.
What's
So
like
let's switch
an
gears a little bit and let's talk about industrial.
Yeah.
right? The flex industrial space. I'm renting one of them. My brother
Really?
rents one of them. Yeah,
For your car?
dude, it's for my car, but it's empty right now. And guess what I did with it? I created a whole second floor. I spent some money in it, and basically like with the
A
flooring,
man cave?
a man cave, but never used.
Really?
So
And I'm
so
still
you
paying,
created
and I'm still
a
paying rent. I'm still making the guy rich.
Oh, yeah.
wow. So you this is like a triple net lease type of place?
So the one that I'm renting right now is a gross lease. So this guy pays everything, but it could be a
Huh.
triple net. So Tom knows a lot about it. I let him chime in on it. But the space that I'm at, it's like $1,400 and 2,000 square feet. I just kept it, and I got all my junk. So I got it's like a super storage space, right? It's 2,000 square feet,
Yeah.
uh,
That
and
that's
I love it.
that's a huge. That's exactly what's going on. So we talked about storage, right? So now
Yeah.
this is we talked about storage for regular consumers like us. Now there is another market for people who are small business owners, like painters, plumbers,
Oh,
HVAC owners.
huge.
Yeah, they're
Mm.
putting stuff in their truck or in their home garage, and now their business is growing, and they need a place to store the stuff. Like Noel was saying, they're looking for some place to put the stuff, and they don't know nothing about leases and stuff. They just want a place to put the stuff. You can call it contractor garages or contractor storage. And so basically, what it is just like a huge garage, which
Hmm.
has got 800 to 1,000 square feet. So the one that we own in Savannah, Georgia, it's about 800 square feet, and we can see the kind of people over there. Like I think there was a couple truck repair people over there. They've rented like three or four, and they've combined everything, and they repair trucks over there. Besides that, everybody is like local business owners. They just want to put the stuff over there, yeah, and operate the business out of that facility. So, I mean, in the one
Mm.
that we own, we don't even have an office, but they just put their table and chairs and like put some blocks, and then they separate it out and they store everything and operate the business out of there. We got that's about 42 units, which is about 42, close to 40,000 square feet. But some of the ones also come with an office. Like there is an office and there's a storage. And man, these guys, these things are so in demand right now. You have no idea. Just like Noel was saying, these things you can jack up the rents and make a lot of money. Like
Mm.
the one that we own,
Why is
yeah,
that?
because of the demand. So the one we
Yeah.
own is like 100% occupied. We bought it, I think it was a 650 dollars
Mhm.
per month in rent per unit. Now we are renting it for $1,000 or close to $1,000, and people have no problem paying that because this is a new concept. It's contractor garages or contractor storage, and people want to rent that. And these are like a year long lease. These are not month to month, and these are very very low maintenance. We hardly get a call. There's only one bathroom for all the 42 people of and
Yeah. One thing I
no
want to,
other.
yeah, I just want to inject something real quick here, Tom. You are so right because the space that I have right now with the 2,000 square feet, that guy does not want to renew that lease. I mean, let's put it this way: he's not giving me a 5-year lease. He's like maximum two
Hmm.
years to 3 years. Okay, that dude is not even giving me like 5 years. I was like, hey, how about if I just sign 5 years and lock me? And he's like, nope. He's like maximum 3 years or 2 years. Now,
Tom,
since my space
explain.
is, yeah, I'm telling you, I was in shock because in Peoria, man, I mean, who the hell rents in Peoria, right, with these spaces? But then, of course, there's the tin guys, then there's this car detail guys, then we got the
Hmm.
contractors, electricians, HVAC guys, and
Hmm.
then I got an aquarium guy. So my space has been empty for a while, and guess what happens? I keep getting little letters in my on my door and in my mail that, hey, you're not using this, can we rent it off you? Like these guys really want
Wow.
me to sublease it to them. Like, I mean, it's this hot, and in a market like Peoria, so you can imagine,
Wow.
Arbitrage that thing.
dude, man, I'm telling you, like what Tom is telling you right now,
Yeah.
which is why I am a sole believer that flex industrial is a way to go right now with real estate if you want something stable.
So explain the business model to me,
Yeah.
maybe Tom. How, I mean, if you could go, I am this call it. I'm completely brand new, right? You're talking about flex, which is a type of industrial, right? So how
Yeah.
does the business model work?
Here's my thing. I'll let Tom chime in on this, but here's my thing. If you want like a flex, you want the biggest delta, get a piece of dirt land, build it out, and I guarantee you're gonna sell out in no time. Once you sell out, now you can go ahead and either refi or the cash out, because that is where you make the biggest delta when you build it out from scratch. It's not like multifamily, like you gotta wait. There's regulations, there's red tapes. You can't have through evictions because people are living in there. Man, these are businesses. These are like people operating their businesses in there. They're never going to default on the lease, on the lease or the payments, right, Tom? I mean, I'll let you speak on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If,
I don't think we have had one default. We probably had one a long time ago, but lately I've not heard
yeah,
of
when it's
anything.
you have a lease and there's a business involved, it's much easier to get them out because you don't have to go through the the eviction
100%.
process.
Yes.
30 days, that's it. Get the cops done. Right?
Yeah. None of that stuff. Yeah. Throw the stuff out. They're
Seriously,
out.
there was a guy whose space I occupied. This guy literally he threw all the stuff outside. Just
Yeah,
because
that's it. Yeah, I mean, you
dude,
don't
I mean
have
that
to.
guy was paying his rent, but just because he didn't like him because his attitude was bad, so he threw him out. So I mean, you can imagine, right? So the amount of demand you got on the
Yeah.
spaces.
Yeah, I mean, see, when it comes to apartments, like if there is an eviction, and there is going to be evictions, there's going to be bad debt because people are involved. And because people are involved, you cannot
Exactly.
simply throw them out. You got to send the freaking 5-day notice. Then you got to send the other notice and like give them time. Then they got to go to fire a lawyer and go to court. And I mean, I've been through that, so I know how long it takes. So in some states, it takes even longer, but minimum you can count 2 months. Even the best states.
Even landlord-friendly states, there's still time. It's a process. It's still a process,
Yeah.
right?
So
Because
this is
people
an industrial or in flex, or are you talking about self-storage?
these are small industrials.
No. Yeah, these are no. What I was talking about the eviction where you got to go to the judge and everything for apartment complexes. For industrial, you don't need none of that stuff. You just don't pay the
That's it.
rent. It's all in the lease. You will be out. It'll be within. You get 30 days or something, and then you just get cleaned out by a junk company, and the
Right.
space is gone. So so that's how it is. But it's like Noel said. It's very simple. You just build just spaces like you build storages, but it's a little more bigger. And some of these, it comes with a nice office space, basically a room where you can operate your business, and that's it. And some of these guys are even converting into triple net, which means they're
Oh
passing
yeah.
on the expenses to
Nice.
the tenants. That's even better. I mean, George, one of these days, I want to, if you're in Katy area, I want to show you one. Man, he built it out real good, actually. And that place is 100% packed. And he built it from scratch in a very busy place, and he's looking to sell, but he's asking way too much. So there is these kind of things when you start noticing all over the place.
Love it.
Some of these have office entrances in the front, and the back is where that the pop-up garage is.
Right. That's exactly how mine is.
Yeah.
But I park my car all the way till the
Yeah.
front, so who cares, right? So with that being said, I mean, here's a thing. This is one of my favorite ones. The second favorite one was the one that I spoke about last week. Finding dirt, building a strip mall plaza. I'm a tenant in there, having my dental practice or anybody else's dental practice. I don't care. Because with a dentist in there, a long-term 10-year lease, I mean, that sucker is going to have its valuation and NOI just skyrocket because you got a stable tenant. And that is like a no-brainer having a healthcare,
You can't beat that.
dude, it can't beat that. And if you have an optometrist and a vet in there, I mean, that plaza is going to be like a killer.
And a chiropractor. I mean, once a dentist comes, I think everybody else.
The
is
way
going to
I've
go.
noticed was like some of these areas where they are really, really good and rock solid tenants is when you give a small piece of equity to the broker. Right? You find the right broker to find the right dental practice in there. You find the right broker to find the right chiro. You find the right broker to find the right emergency clinic. I'm telling you, if these guys are like a small GP partners in the deal or JV partners, they'll do anything to make sure there's somebody in there. And you got to give a piece of the pie. And I'm
Yeah,
telling you, man,
great
this is
point,
like
man.
like
Yeah,
beside next to Flex Industrial and Storage, this is like the asset class, I would say, somebody who's looking into investing in.
yeah.
Oh, it's
But see, that's anytime you are a tenant, you win. There's no question about
100%.
that.
Yeah. You know what's amazing? There are so many types of real estate that no matter what type it is, I get excited. I'm like, man, this is awesome, right? Like it sounds really awesome. But I guess
So,
at the end of the day, like how you want to operate, like, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to deal with tenants? When people want to choose, is like, do you want to deal with tenants, long-term leases, or both of these, more of a passive strategy? Right? You want to go more active, start small,
mhm.
rentals. You want to go huge, go multifamily, right? So I
It's
love it.
it's like I call it
Yeah.
high powered and high octane, like these industrials are. That's how it is, like turbocharged, engines.
Fantastic.
Alrighty. Cool, guys. I
Cool.
think it was pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Yeah,
So some great info.
so any last minute
Love
thing,
it.
Tom?
Hey, if anybody wants to know more about this, just hit us up with a DM. If you're thinking about it, if you have any questions
Mhm.
about what we discussed, just send us a DM or post a comment. Actually, we'd be happy to answer that. Last time, I think a few weeks ago when we did, there was a lot of comments. So we'll be happy to respond or just send us
And
a DM.
next week, guys, let's do this here. Let's make our agenda for next week. Let's talk about house hacking again. There was a few DMs that I got.
House hacking.
Fourplexes, right?
Yes.
There's threeplex. Let's talk about that next week.
George loves
George
that.
loves
George
that. We're
loves
gonna let
that
George
topic.
do all the talking next time. Shoot.
Ah,
He's
fellas,
been
I want to
quite
hear
late.
about y'all's event. How did it go? I saw the pictures on Facebook. I liked them. I think I left a couple comments. Did you share that in the group or not yet?
Oh,
I want to hear it.
I mean, Tom and I, we were blown away with the crowd in there. Man, Johnny Walker, he pulled it off with Glenn Poe.
You're talking
Yeah,
about the
there's
Dallas event, right?
50 person event with
Yeah.
Johnny there. Yeah, you guys
100.
were speaking there.
That dude,
100.
Oh, there were
100.
more than 50. It was probably 100
actually,
people. Yeah.
it was a little bit more than 100 because it was sold out. I mean, that room was jam packed. If anybody was there, anybody of you guys watching was there in that event, this guy like dropped some nuggets, and him and Glenn Bowe really kicked it out of the ballpark. I was really proud of these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys like came out of like just swung the first summit like out of nowhere. So
Love it.
it was good.
Fantastic, man.
Alrighty, guys, we'll land a plane tonight, and like always, make sure you guys like and subscribe there. So we will see you guys back next Thursday again on our Facebook Live. Any questions, any comments, make sure you put it down, DM us, and we'll be more than happy to answer. So with that being said,